So you grabbed our new cherry pineapple glaze. Now what? Today I'm showing you 5 different ways to use it, and you'll want to stick around to the end because the last one may surprise you.
We're kicking this off with classic barbecue chicken legs. First up, we're seasoning them with trifecta. This gives us that perfect balance of savory and sweet, plus that deep red color you want on barbecue chicken. Pro tip, if you've got time, use trifecta as a brine and let these sit for about 4 hours. It makes a huge difference. While that seasoning sets, we're firing up that Weber kettle and building a 2-zone fire. The legs go on indirect and cook for about an hour, flipping them halfway through. After an hour, we're moving them directly over the coals, and this is key. We want classic barbecue chicken, not smoked chicken. So we're flipping them often to get that perfect char on every leg without burning. Now it's time to bring in the star of the show. We mixed 1 cup of barbecue sauce with 1/4 cup of our cherry pineapple glaze, dunked the legs, and then let the sauce set for about 5 minutes.
Just a perfectly cooked chicken leg enhanced with that sauce and that glaze. Of course, you can use the glaze on your own, but paired with a delicious sauce, it really just amps up the flavor. It adds that sweetness, a little bit of spice on the back end. This is just perfect.
Classic barbecue chicken is hard to beat, but now it's time to level things up with an insane grilled cheese. We're starting with half a pork butt seasoned with Killer Hog's TX rub and Southern Hospitality. This combo gives us bold flavor without overpowering the glaze later. This goes onto a Grilla Grills pellet smoker and cooks until probe tender. For us, that took about 5.5 hours at 300 degrees. Before we build the grilled cheese, we need to let this pork rest. We wrap it in foil, drizzle it with our cherry pineapple glaze, and let it sit on the counter for about an hour. That rest locks in moisture and the glaze is there to add beautiful flavor. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. We unwrap the pork and pull it, making sure to toss it in all those juices left in the foil. In a pan over medium heat, we melt a few tablespoons of butter and start building the grilled cheese. First, a slice of jalapeno jack, then a generous handful of pulled pork, a drizzle of cherry pineapple glaze, and a slice of Colby Jack on top. From there, it's all about patience, letting the cheese melt and the bread get perfectly golden and toasty.
Oh yeah.
If you've got an idea for how you'd use this glaze, drop it in the comments. I want to see what y'all come up with.
I feel like most people in the world love a good grilled cheese. Adding those 2 cheeses, adding the pulled pork, and then of course that glaze just really elevates this. So when you're thinking of this glaze, think of the consistency of honey, maybe a little bit like a simple syrup, but it's gonna amp up those flavors. You get the cherry, you get the pineapple, you get a little bit of that pepper flavor. You gotta get this.
You better believe we smoked a pork butt for 5.5 hours just to make a grilled cheese, but now it's time to use this glaze on one of my all-time favorite barbecue cuts, the pork steak. We started with a thick pork steak from Boar Eye Craft Butchery, and since the glaze brings the sweet, we're keeping the seasoning simple with Southern Belle for that savory balance. To chase the perfect smoke ring, this goes on the Ringo drum. We're cooking it at 300 degrees, making sure to pull it around 195 degrees internal so it stays tender without turning mushy. From there, we drench it in cherry pineapple glaze, wrap it in foil, and let it rest for about an hour. After that, it's time to unwrap, slice, and see what we've got.
That right there is true fat render perfection. From the bottom of my heart and soul, this is truly incredible. The glaze really takes it over the top. It's sweet, it's a tiny bit spicy, it's sticky, it caramelized a little bit in that wrap, and then you just get a beautiful pork steak. How could you not want to try this? Even on its own, this glaze will elevate anything that you cook.
Up to this point, everything's been classic barbecue cuts, but this next one is completely different. We start by mixing together cream cheese, bacon, diced jalapenos, and a blend of shredded cheddar and Monterey Jack. To take it over the edge, we season it with Southern Hospitality and add a drizzle of our cherry pineapple glaze. That sweet contrast pairs perfectly with all those savory popper flavors. This goes onto a smoker at 300 degrees for about 45 minutes.
A truly incredible bite. Think jalapeno popper, but in dip form. The Ritz crackers is perfect for it, and then you get a little bit of that sweet glaze all over top. This was so simple yet so delicious. I would call this the perfect appetizer.
It might be the most unexpected, but if you ask me, pineapple upside down cake just makes too much sense. We're starting with a box of store-bought cake mix, following the directions right on the back. And here's where we really turn things upside down. After greasing our pan with a little help from my son, we poured melted butter and brown sugar into the bottom. Then we drizzle our cherry pineapple glaze all over that butter and brown sugar before layering in pineapple rings and cherries. Finally, the cake batter goes in. We're using a 9x3 inch round pan, which took about an hour and a half with all the batter, but feel free to follow the baking directions on your box. To be safe, just stick a toothpick in the center and make sure it comes out clean. After a quick 15-minute rest on the counter, it's time to flip it and turn our worlds upside down with what might be the most incredible smoked cake that we've ever made.
That is so good. You can taste the glaze 100%. You can 100% taste the glaze. I'm gonna be a little gluttonous. It basically replaces simple syrup, but it's even better. You gotta try this one. So there you have it. 5 different ways to use our cherry pineapple glaze from classic barbecue all the way to dessert. If this video gave you a few ideas, drop it in the comments down below which one you'd try first or what you'd put it on next. And if you want to grab a bottle for yourself, there'll be a link down below. As always, we really appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.